Hi, I'm Ruchika, and that's me as a kid growing up in Jakarta, Indonesia. My friends and I used to play in an empty lot of land that we nicknamed our common backyard. And one day we noticed tall metal fences blocking our entryway. And it was a matter of time that we were locked out and the land was barricaded. This got me thinking about who has the right to take away our land and our air and our water, our common backyard. Who owns and controls our resources, which after all are our commons? And as I researched issues closer to New York, I began to understand the complicated layers and the murky waters behind the hydraulic gas drilling process, otherwise known as fracking. The process of fracking basically is to extract gas and oil and uses lots of gallons of water mixed with fracking fluid, and it's drilled under high pressure to create fractures in the shale rock. And though the process, many consider that the process is going to be good for the United States because it will make the country an energy independent nation, the issue is controversial because of the Energy Policy Act, which exempts oil and gas companies from many of the key environmental laws that were put into place in the 1970s. And so, if the companies are not held responsible, and neither is the government, who is responsible for protecting our commons? I decided to travel to Susquehanna County in Pennsylvania to talk to people that had been living there and had leased their land and had dealt with the consequences of fracking. And then I crossed the border over to the town of Vestal in Broome County to talk to people where fracking was on the cards. And I quickly came to realize that the border was actually here. And there were two sides to the story, and everyone had their own opinions. In Dimock, Pennsylvania, I came across this sculpture that a family had actually built across the homes of their neighbor to make fun of them about their water being contaminated. And ironically, this family had spoken up about their water going bad and their pets becoming ill. And upon taking a settlement from the gas company and signing a non-disclosure agreement, they quickly switched sides, and they built this on a manure spreader, as you can see. And as I talked to more and more people, I learned that they had lost their jobs, their employment benefits, they had lost their homes, their water supplies, and their loved ones in nasty divorces, and the list went on and on and on. And I couldn't help wondering that if communication breaks down like this, how is it ever going to be possible for a community to come together and protect and manage their commons? So what I decided to do was to design a framework in which I would present the stories from Susquehanna County to communities in New York State and hope to bring them together so that they could identify their shared concerns and make decisions for their community based on some common grounds. And so I held the first Common Ground Convention here in Vestal at the public library. There were 9 people that came and attended, 4 from the pro-fracking side and 5 from the anti-fracking side. And the first activity we did was for everyone to list out their concerns, and by placing it on this map, we quickly identified the issues such as regulations, roads, and the environment. And then we listened to audio stories from Pennsylvania, and using these stories as prompts, people were able to list out what was in their control. And one of the issues that came up was the roads. The roads of Vestal are interesting because, like any small town, they're narrow and curvy, and no one wants heavy fracking trucks down the same roads as school buses. And the community has been asking for this law to be put in place for the last 3 years, which allows the community to decide on how to use and regulate their roads. And this was actually the first time that they were going to come together and discuss a draft on how to frame this law. And the meeting was successful. Sue says that most of the community wants to meet again and move forward, and she's planning to have another meeting. And for Renee, who is anti-fracking, she had a more personal stance. She said, "I'm so used to having pro-fracking people drive past me when I'm holding a sign and giving me a finger. So it's good to know you as caring people. It's not that I didn't know that, but I didn't have experience with that." And I shared a short video of the meeting with Isaac, who works at Citizen Action of New York, and he wants me to facilitate another meeting in a town east of Vestal called Sanford. So that's next on the cards. And the goal is to bring this meeting to the 5 other counties in the southern tier of New York, which is the sweet spot for fracking. The framework that I decided to create and share online for other people to be able to use is a meeting facilitation plan, audio stories, and audio responses. And I think it's important for people to be able to start having this conversation and come together, because whether or not the governor decides that fracking will happen or not happen in New York, it's important to start seeing eye to eye and think about our land as a common backyard. Thank you.